Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Monday the 15th of November 2021 and we're producing our Monday morning gold and silver price update, forecast and daily news. Gold and silver open up but then dip back while the dollar index remains above 95. And economists predicting an interest rate rise for the United Kingdom in December. Let's take a look. Welcome to Illuminati Silver. It's Monday, the 15th of November 2021 at 09:18 a.m. The weather today is murky. Yes, the sky is covered with cloud, and there is a rather murky mist pervading our landscape. What's also murky is, are we going to have rising interest rates or not, both in the UK and in America? Well, the indications from the Fed is that tapering comes first, and we were all expecting interest rates to rise in the United Kingdom in November, but it did not happen. However, according to Bloomberg today, UK economists join markets in forecasting a December rate hike. Let's take a quick look. UK economists have become more hawkish over the past month and now expect the Bank of England to increase interest rates in December as concerns about inflation intensify. A month ago, economists predicted the central bank would maintain its benchmark rate at a record low 0.1% until May. Now they expect an increase to 0.25% next month, according to a Bloomberg survey published on Monday. That would make the UK the first major economy to lift borrowing costs since the pandemic. And this should not be ignored because it may be setting the trail. Also, we have Euro area inflation seen peaking at 4.2%. before easing next year. Euro area inflation will be faster than previously thought this year and next, before slipping well below the European Central Bank's goal in 2023. Consumer price growth will peak at 4.2% late in the fourth quarter, above the previous prediction of 3.6%. A year later, the rate will drop by more than half to 1.6%, below the ECB's 2% medium-term target. Now, if that is the case, and this is the expectation that the European Central Bank works from, we can see that the euro area will not, or is extremely unlikely, to raise rates if they are expecting this genuinely to happen. And that will have consequences for the US dollar and for the price of gold and silver, because we'll have a weak euro and potentially a stronger dollar. Another indication, but it's a slightly, we use this term skew-whiff indication. In other words, it's coming from the left flank, that perhaps we may have rising rates because George Soros' fund is now investing not only in real estate but financial stocks. And generally, financial stocks do well in a rising interest rate environment. Soros Fund Management increased its bets on real estate and financial stocks during the last quarter, while the value of its US equity portfolio dipped to less than $5 billion. Let's see if he's right. Finally, London FTSE 100 flat as losses in miners overshadow Shell cheer. UK FTSE 100 was flat on Monday as gains in oil major Royal Dutch Shell on plans to ditch its dual share structure were offset by subdued miners hit by global moves to reduce coal use and a big drop in China's steel production. And this is where we are moving towards this green energy environment. Business news. Shell plans to move its headquarters to the United Kingdom. So much for Brexit putting off companies coming here. Real living wage rises to £9.90 an hour. No turkey shortage, says the British Poultry Council, so we're okay for Christmas. And Trump is selling his Washington hotel, and it looks like it's being sold to the Hilton Group. US, Canada, what Biden and Xi wants from virtual summit. They're holding a virtual summit today to discuss Taiwan, cybersecurity, and trade. Dollar index, let's have a look. Marginally down today, but an infinitesimal amount, still holding above 95 at 95.09. Energy prices down $0.50 a barrel. Equities, well, we covered in our weekly update, link below, what happened to the US equities last week. And on Friday, they performed quite well. Asia Pacific overnight also performing moderately well, between 0.25% up. And in spite of the headline, we can see that Europe, Middle East, Africa and UK are also in positive territory, albeit just. Economic data today, as we mentioned in our weekly update, all we really have coming out of the US is the Empire State Manufacturing Index, not to be ignored though, because it will have some bearing if the actual figures for November vary considerably from those in October, but the main data is tomorrow with retail sales, industrial production. Gold prices today initially went up, which is really what we forecast and thought might be maintained a little longer than it has so far. We have gold down $3.90 at 1,861. Remember, on Friday it closed very close to all-time highs for the week, not all-time highs permanently, but as you can see on this chart, they went up, but then fell back quite considerably, pro rata, and then have sort of vacillated at this lower area and have dipped back up and come back down. So we're going to get a little bit of volatility, but we're not going to get over-exercised over a few dollars. Silver market's exactly the same, went up, touching 25.40, then fell down to 24.94 and now standing down 11 cents at 25.21. It needs to hold that $25, otherwise we're looking again at 24.50. Cryptocurrency markets, we noticed in the early hours of this morning, Bitcoin started to rise again, and it's up almost 3% at $66,000. And the market cap for crypto is 2.87 trillion. So really, the effects on gold and silver today, of course, the overall impact is going to be the value of the dollar. In terms of economic news, very little coming out of the US today. Tomorrow will be more pertinent, but of course markets will be preparing for tomorrow's announcements. Other than that, it's essentially geopolitical news. How well Biden gets on with Xi, what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, and of course the figures for the spread of the coronavirus and how devastating or not they may be on individual countries around the world, and the impact on whether countries start to adopt further closures in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe, press the bell sign. Until tomorrow. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.